What's up, guys? Chris here with some FLO-Osophy. And I asked a question on my Facebook page, simply asking, what are some of the health practices you wish you had in your 20s? And I got answers for some of the top people in the fitness industry. And some of the answers were very, very simple and very basic. So I wanted to share them with you now. So those of you out there who are in your 20s and looking for certain things you can do to better your health, here are the top 5 things they said. Number 1, which is no surprise, is food choices. I think when you're younger, whatever's in front of you, whatever's cheap, whatever's available is the thing you gravitate towards. But I know one of the things for me, and I think for you guys now in your 20s, there's a lot more options for you to eat organically, to eat cleaner. There's a lot more education and information out there for you to get. When I was younger, there was maybe one aisle for organic foods in ShopRite or some of these supermarkets. Now it seems like there's 3, 4, 5, 6 aisles of food. People are more aware, more conscious of what's going into their foods. There's people who are going plant-based and eating cleaner that way. So there's a lot more options, and again, a lot more information on diet out there versus when I was in my 20s, when it was just kind of that sad diet, that standard American diet. So number 1 that most people said was make better food choices. And it doesn't have to be overhaul your entire life. Again, there's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of places, there's food trucks that have organic food and more plant-based stuff or just better foods. So try and make better food choices. Number 2 is super simple and super easy to do, and everyone can do this one. It's not gonna cost you anything. It's drink more water. That's right, drink more water. I don't think people are hydrated enough, and people don't realize that when you're not hydrated, sometimes you get these hunger signals. You're not actually hungry, you're actually thirsty. And so drinking more water, keeping yourself hydrated. Think about the amount of money people spend on skin products to help their skin look better and look younger. And if they would just hydrate their skin, hydrate themselves, they probably wouldn't need to spend money on all this nonsense. So hydration is key. I'll give you actually 2 tips that have helped me. 1 is just keep a glass of water next to your bed. First thing in the morning, you drink your glass of water. That's at least 1 glass covered right there. Second thing is before meals, drink a glass of water, a water bottle before you eat. And that way you may think you're very hungry, but you may just be thirsty. So you drink your glass of water before you eat and you may not consume as many calories. So those are just 2 simple ones. I'm sure there's a ton of other things you can do, but please hydrate yourselves. Number 3, again, this one should cost you $0, is sleep. Yes, sleep. You need to get your rest. There's so much information on sleep research now, and I'm not going to dive into some of those things. I'll just give you some personal benefits I noticed from sleep. First and foremost, if you're into exercise or you want to get buff or you're training hard, you need to rest because your muscles, everything grows during rest periods. So while you're sleeping, you're actually regenerating that muscle tissue. And so if you want to get buff, or whatever it is, you want to look good, you need to get your sleep. For your brain, there's benefit in it because your brain actually processes all the stuff throughout your day. So if you're trying to be smarter or learn new activities or acquire new skills, you need to get your sleep. I'm not talking about 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, an hour at night. You need a certain amount of sleep. Now, I'm not gonna say 8 hours or 10 hours because we're all different. You just need to get your rest. Having those 2-hour cat naps, even though you're young and you can get through it, are not helping you be your best self. So if you want to bring your best self forward, if you want to be rejuvenated, you want to be recharged, think of it like your cell phone battery. You're constantly looking to plug it in to charge that battery up. You need that for your body, your mind, your spirit, everything as well. So you need to get your sleep. Again, if you really want to dive into the research, there's a ton of information you get out there, but I can't stress it enough, get your rest. Number 4 was a big one for me, and I learned it later on. Again, I wish I learned it a lot sooner, is movement. And when I mean movement, I'm not just talking about taking a yoga class every once in a while. I mean throughout your entire day. We tend to get stiffer because of our environment. So your environment kind of dictates your body. So if you sit all day, if you sitting in class and then you drive and then you sit when you get home and watching Netflix, you sit all the time, our bodies are stuck. That's the environment that we're giving our body. Your body's gonna adapt to whatever environment that you place it in. So if you have an environment that lacks movement, then you need to introduce movement into your day. Now, when it comes to training and getting in shape, if you have repetitive movements, meaning you're doing the same kind of movement every single day, think about your squats, your bench press, your curls, everything in that sagittal plane, you're kind of stuck here. So your world becomes stuck in this narrow corridor. And then as you get older, you start trying to spin or do certain things, and then all of a sudden you pull your back or you hurt yourself playing a pickup game of basketball, whatever. So if you can introduce more movement in your day, again, if it's yoga you like to do, I personally do animal flow. If people are into martial arts, whatever it is, just find something that gets you moving a little bit more. It's not just the benefit of your body, it does have a huge benefit on your body, but it's not just for that. It's also for your brain and your spirit as well. Because when you get stuck physically, you tend to get stuck mentally and emotionally. So when you can start expressing yourself more through movement, get a wider range of movement, now your thought process starts to change. You become a little more creative, and we can dive into that part of the brain, but that's not for this talk. And you also have the ability to free yourself emotionally as well. So when you're stuck here, you tend to get stuck here and here, right? But if you can learn to move more, it's gonna help all aspects of your life. So in your 20s, stop thinking about fitness as just looking good in the beach. That's a good part of it as well, right? Everyone wants to look good naked. That's great. So that can be part of your fitness or movement regimen. But try and get other things in. I don't care if it's rock climbing or hobby of movement or going out and playing a pickup game or walking more, just trying to get more movement throughout your day instead of being stuck sitting down all the time. So a huge one, again, number 4 is introduce more movement, mobility, whatever way you want to look at it, just add more movement to your day. And number 5, I saved this one for last because it was the hardest one for me to learn. And when I started reading the comments, I realized that a lot of other people went through this as well. So number 5, I'm gonna sum it up as slow down. And what I mean by slow down is you're in your 20s, everything's go, go, go. You're trying to get it. You're trying to acquire so much. And that's not a bad thing, but I think we forget to slow down sometimes. Stillness is powerful. I'll say it again, stillness is powerful. The ability to just be. And some people in the comments were putting they learned to meditate and how meditation helped calm their mind, and that helped calm their lifestyle. And the reason why this is so important, especially now, is we're being bombarded with information. We're being bombarded with content all day long. Someone's trying to sell us something. Someone's telling you you're not good enough. Someone's telling you should have this car. You should have this money by now. You should be a multi-millionaire by the age of 28. You should be whatever. And we start living in these other times. What I mean by that is as you look at your cell phone, you're no longer present in your moment. You're now in whatever moment that person's trying to sell you. You're now present in that. You're now present in this other person's life. You see someone on vacation, you now wish you were there, and you're never really fully present. And I think whether you think about meditation, whether you think about stillness, whether you think about just slowing down. And this is some advice I wish I gave my 20-year-old self, because there was this need to want to acquire so much and always be busy. And you get stuck in this busyness and you're never really that productive. And I feel like there's a big difference between the two, where if you're productive, you're focused, this is the thing I'm going after, I know it's going to take time. A lot of the things that I have now at 38 were acquired not necessarily by me forcing it to happen. It was just I focused on a certain skill set and then the opportunities came later. But I had to get decent or good enough at this skill set. And if you're jumping from thing to thing while you are trying to find yourself or find the thing that you enjoy, find your purpose, that is important. But don't try and find it at the expense of you burning yourself out at all ends. In my 20s, I had 6 jobs and I was hustling, and I didn't need to do that much. I felt I needed to do. I felt like when I was just being able to be home and be relaxed, that I was doing something wrong. And there was nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking time to yourself. There's nothing wrong with relaxing. There's nothing wrong with just being still and letting your work or your efforts catch up to where you are in life. And I feel like, again, you're pushing too much when you're younger. So learning to be still, learning to be calm, and letting things come to you. So instead of forcing something to happen, you just be that person. You be whatever it is you want to do. For me, it was being movement. For me, it was motivating. For me, it was mentoring. And so if I just became that person, the people will be drawn to you. And now in my life, I've learned more to just be that person, and opportunities will present themselves. So instead of trying to kick in the door and force your way in all the time, just be the person that you want to be. Find your purpose, find your passion, the thing you love to do, and then just start doing that thing. And you may not get to the greatest in your industry at a certain point, but when the time is right, the thing will happen for you. And I promise you, when the time is right, the thing will happen for you. It's not when you're going to force it. It's when dare I say, the universe, right, finds that you're that right person at that moment. That's when the opportunity will present itself, and you'll have the time to actually appreciate and take advantage of that opportunity. Because if you're always busy, you don't leave space in your life for the opportunity to come, because you're on to next, you're on to next, you're on to next. So when you provide some space in your life, a little gap of time where the opportunity can now manifest itself, that's when it's gonna happen. So you need to work at stuff, train hard. I'm not saying don't work hard. I'm saying you're gonna do the thing that you want to do, find your passion, find your purpose, but also allow that space in your life. Don't fill every single moment, every single gap with something. Allow that time for things to simmer, allow time for things to marinate. And when you have that space, that's when those opportunities will come. But they're only gonna come when you are that person that deserves that opportunity, and when you're the person that's ready to handle that opportunity. So there you have it. Those are the top 5 practices that people wish they started doing in their 20s. And I hope this doesn't come across as super preachy or do as I say or buy now, my top 5, whatever. This is literally just information, kind of mentoring, helping younger people understand that these are things that are extremely important, and people who've lived it and been through it are saying these are the things they wish they can do or wish they had done when they were in their 20s. I think it's important to put this up here, especially for people who are parents and have kids in their 20s, because I know me and I know a lot of other parents talk about this, that your kids just don't want to listen to you. Just because you're a parent, they don't want to listen to you, but they may need to hear this information from a different source. So I'm hoping I can be that source to help some people out. Again, people in their 20s, if they can have these practices or start working on these 5 things now, by the time they get older, they'll have this cemented down and it will be a habit. And once it's a habit, you no longer have to think about that thing. You'll go to bed at a certain time, you'll be drinking your water, you'll start making better food choices, you'll focus on movements, you'll have that space in your life where you can be still. If you want to work on meditation, that's great. But just having those skills, I think, will help carry you for a happy and healthy life. So I hope this information helps. I'll talk to you all next time.